the Harbour, a coastal spot offering shelter for watercraft. It's the heart of the Great Ocean, connecting Flitterwick and Swancombe. These are the tales of Flitterwick Harbour. In the summertime, Flitterwick Harbour is alive with boats and ships of all kinds. It really is a fine sight from my clock tower. Many visitors climb up to my balcony so that they may see the beautiful view. You should hear the children shout when I start to strike my bells. Looking down, you can see the sailing yachts with their huge sails are palest blue or white, and smaller ones with bright red sails. There is also one big pleasure steamer, which goes out of the bay to Swancombe, another seaside place along the coast. This steamer is named the Pride of Flitterwick. This is a very fine name, but too long, so we call him Percy Paddle. Tubby the tugboat envied Percy. How fine he looks, he used to think. If only I could have all that lovely white paint. If only I could have a yellow funnel with a red band round it. Percy looks so dignified too, though a little conceited. He rarely spoke to Tubby, except on days where he felt specially pleased and kind. Then he would go on his siren, and Tubby would reply on his whistle, most quietly, respectfully and politely. Next to being a useful tugboat, he would think wistfully, I would love to be a pleasure steamer. Without really meaning to be so, Percy's passengers were often unkind to Tubby. He would hear them say, as they passed him, "Look at that dirty little boat. I wonder why they keep him." They never realised just how useful and necessary he was, although he was always so busy that there was little time to keep him as smart as a pleasure steamer. Then one day, they found out that it isn't wise to judge on appearances only, and that it's what a ship can do that really counts. On this particular day, the harbour master, who was Tubby's real boss, came running down the jetty. "Hurry up, Tubby," he called. "You must go out to sea immediately. No time to waste." Percy Paddle has forgotten to watch the marker boys, and has run aground on one of the sandbanks. You must go and pull him off. This was Tubby's big chance to show Percy and his passengers just how clever and useful he could be in an emergency. My word, how excited and pleased he was. Within a few minutes, he was puffing out steam and smoke, pipping his whistle and making fussy noises. He was so excited that when he did leave the jetty, he forgot to take his tow ropes with him. As he passed through the ships on the way to the harbour entrance, he told them all where he was going and boasted how he would soon have Percy afloat again. When he was passing Flip, the ferry bridge, he called out importantly to him, "Don't you envy me? I'm going to sea to pull Percy Paddle off the sandbank. And, he added, very unkindly, you couldn't do that, could you? And you won't do it very well either, replied Flip with a wise smile. For you've come out without half your ropes you'll be needing. Didn't Tubby feel foolish? He realised how silly it was to try to show off to his friends. What shall I do? He cried. I don't want to go all the way back to the jetty. The harbour master will be furious, and all the ships will laugh at me and never let me forget how foolish I've been. Ah well, replied Flip. Since you are generally such a good little ship, I'll lend you some ropes. Will you truly? Said Tubby. Oh, very nice of you, and thank you very much indeed. I do apologise for being so rude to you. So he borrowed the ropes from Flip and went sailing away out to sea. He made up his mind never to show off again, but I'm afraid he forgets sometimes. At last he reached the sandbank. There was Percy Paddle looking pathetic and forlorn and leaning over slightly. Boo! Boo! Shouted the passengers. What have you come for? Why have they sent this dirty little ship? He'll never be able to pull us off and rescue us. That's just what I am gonna do, called Tubby in a furious voice. Can you do it? Asked Tubby's captain anxiously. I think so, replied Tubby rather nervously. Then Percy Paddle butted in, saying, My goodness, it's ridiculous. Tubby can't do this. What can the harbour master be thinking about? I do hope Tubby will be very careful anyway, and not scratch my beautiful paint. I'll do it. I'll do it. I must do it. I must do it, muttered Tubby. Anybody can do anything if they really try. The ropes were passed to Percy and made secure. Tubby started to pull. Nothing happened. A slight boo was heard from the passengers. I think that if the passengers would go to the other side of the ship and stop watching me, I might have a better chance to do it, said Tubby. This was a clever thought. He knew that the change of weight would rock the ship a little, and that if he pulled at the same time, he might get Percy to float slowly off the sandbank. They moved. Percy moved. Just a little. Tubby was worried. It was a dramatic moment. He mustn't fail. Perhaps if the passengers would come over to this side again and sing one of my special songs for pulling ships off sandbanks, I might manage it. He knew that this would rock Percy again, and he knew that the tide was coming in too, and that would help. They agreed to sing, and Percy's captain said he would be pleased to beat time for them. Percy's captain, you see, was very worried too, and he knew that the best thing to do then is either to sing or to whistle. This is the song they sang. When stranded on the sandbank and you're feeling rather grim, don't rush about and start to shout and never attempt to swim. Just ask the harbour master for Tubby's finest boat. He's strong, he's bold and not very old, he'll soon get you afloat. He's never out for reward, some water, coal and oil, or all he asks for all is just to keep him on the boil. We shall never know the end of this song, because just then Tubby gave a tremendous heave. The ropes creaked, the engine groaned, and with a sigh, Percy slid off the sandbank. The passengers cheered, and Percy said, "And he hasn't made one scratch on my paint." "Well done, Tubby," said his captain. "Let's go home." Without looking round, Tubby started for home. "Cast off the tow," ordered Percy's captain. "I don't want people to see me being towed into harbour. They'll think I can't steer." Tubby's captain chuckled. "They'll know he can steer onto sandbanks anyway, won't they, Tubby?" Tubby grinned and steamed on, taking no notice of Percy's captain, who was quite purple with anger. As they came into harbour, the other ships blew their whistles and sirens, and the crowds on the jetty cheered wildly. The harbour master and the mayor met them with photographers and newspaper reporters and made a tremendous fuss. Percy's passengers made a collection and presented Tubby's captain with enough money to have Tubby repainted. Percy himself was very grateful and thanked Tubby most politely for his gallant effort. Nowadays, when they pass each other, Percy always gives a nice on his siren. Tubby replies very boldly with a good loud